wrestling debate.
I think they made a smart move and pulled the plug on that whole, Big Show New Year's baby idea. I think instead what it turned into was the literal rise of Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett.
Oh my God.
Doing the...
Yeah, for a second I thought we were going to get another Spinner Woody marathon. Apparently Booker T's been doing a lot of that shows.
And now, here's Tyler Wilde.
Yeah, so now about a month later, Big Show is the victim of a Brock Lesnar beatdown, ultimately.
When I was watching that on pay-per-view, Tyler, you would have made that beat down so much sweeter. Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
This would be a great angle, because those are the Kevin Federline angle, maybe. You have Justin Bieber come out and he's going to sing maybe the national anthem and fans start booing it at him. All of a sudden, Brock Lesnar's music theme comes out and the guy better run that.
Yeah. I'll sing a national anthem.
Hey, but whatever. I didn't see WrestleMania.
Yes, that was...
But the point is, Brock Lesnar being the shit out of Justin Bieber just be so perfect right now.
He'd probably kill him.
So, but anyways, on to what's going on in WWE right now. Obviously,
a lot.
Obviously, a lot. Yeah. Last week, we had a snowstorm up this way in southern, Berks County, and so we didn't have a show last week. But this past Saturday, I went to that house show. That was here in Reading, and it was your typical house, your typical house show in this day and age that, where the tickets were $18, and
was it an $18 match?
An $18.
Was it worth those $18?
I guess. It's to see, half of the WWE roster. Now, unfortunately, the
half you wanted to see was over in Canada,
for the most part. If you want to, okay, as far as big guys.
So go down. Why don't you just go down the match card. Just go on the match and just give your thoughts match by match here.
Well, it started out. I think with Kofi Kingston and Ryback. I think that was the first match, and Kofi Kingston beat Ryback,
which I bet very disappointed you then.
No, I wasn't surprised to be honest. At this point, Kingston, had the upset win on Orton not too long ago.
Oh, just wait until you see what Ryback's WrestleMania opponent might be then.
I knew somebody else who went to the live event as well. They said that match, Ryback looked like crap. Like he did horrible.
Yeah,
that was what he had.
The magic of editing, Tyler, sometimes.
I don't know. I don't know if it was horrible. It was just, nobody.
How long was it? They ever watch and time these matches?
It was probably close to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Actually,
but he just said Ryback wasn't that great. That's all he said.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't think he's that great. So at this point, he's not really a big player in WWE. So.
Yep.
You had a Divas tag team match, which was it was a vote between whether you wanted to see them in a dance-off or a tag team match, and it was tag team match.
Thank goodness.
Did anybody cheer for dance-off?
Apparently, it was looking like a pretty close vote. Actually, I remember at one point. At one point, it was a 51 in favor of tag match to 49 dance-off, and.
I think
tag match got it
eventually. Funkadactyls.
Yeah, it was the Funkadactyls, and then Oksana and
Alicia Fox.
Yeah, it was
so Total Divas versus non-Total Divas stuff.
Yeah.
The funny thing was the person I knew that went there. He said to his opinion, the best match of the night was that match. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, actually, the match that followed that match, I think was Big Show and Kane, or was it? No, maybe it was Del Rio and Rey Mysterio. It was one. And that match wasn't very long at all.
Wow.
There was
Guess Ray's still hurting.
Los Matadores, including their little midget guy.
Apparently Hornswoggle's replacement.
Yeah.
Replacement. There can only be one small guy in that company.
Yeah.
If I'm Hornswoggle, I gotta get him for that pink slip to happen soon.
They won a match. And then the new guy who debuted in the Royal Rumble.
Alexander Rusev.
Rusev, yeah. Yeah, he fought Zack Ryder, I believe, and beat him. I wasn't surprised.
Oh yes, definitely. Did Zack even try to do a woo 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 in the crowd?
Yeah, not in the crowd, but I don't think. But
No. I
Like, he tried to
remember
do
they,
woo-woo.
they tried to get a chant starting.
Yeah.
And then anybody
Well,
actually
yeah,
listened
he
to
was
it.
going for his finisher, and but ultimately he lost that match.
So what's your thoughts on this big guy here?
I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what he does. I mean,
Because like I said, I've seen
he
some.
just wrestles barefoot, and
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
it's
I
a
see-
little different. I guess.
I mean, he's going to the Russian gimmick. I mean, but to me, I think he's got a better work ethic than Vladimir Kozlov does, and that's a
Yeah.
plus.
yeah,
And
so-
I don't know, he had some nice kicks in the Rumble. I mean, like some nice high, like
yeah. I thought he was,
I'd say it was like Umaga style kicks,
Yeah.
really, like hard and nasty. And
yeah. We'll see what he does down the road. I mean, I don't know, but and then you had Big Show and Kane.
Corporate Kane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Kane not dressed in a suit, kind of dressed in his old attire, but obviously with
So not
not
like the
mask.
Rumble. So not the Rumble Kane.
Right, not the
Came
Rumble
down in a
Kane.
suit and tie. And,
Right.
Well,
That
took
was
his suit off, but it came in
yeah.
like dress clothes. pretty much.
that match was pretty short. Big Show winning via knockout punch.
Mhm.
And then I don't think I think I didn't miss anything, but the main event was John Cena and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship.
Post Cena crowd,
You know,
mixed Cena crowd.
bad,
bad
very pro. I mean,
Okay,
there's still people that started, the Cena sucks chants.
okay, but yeah,
But when he came out, I mean, it was pretty, it was
pretty pro.
pretty resounding. I think
I
that's
actually can believe that because that's
normally,
what the YouTube video was entrance.
I think that's
I didn't really hear a whole lot of
Yeah.
any boos really. So
yeah, but where this, I mean, again, it was for the World Heavyweight, WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, like that was gonna.
Oh yeah,
You know.
totally,
change hands
totally
at a live event.
I mean,
The day
I mean,
before pay per view.
At that point, I knew okay, Orton's gonna get DQ'd, and then after the match, Cena was gonna beat up on him. That's what happened.
So everybody can go home happy.
But even worse, like, I mean, if I was gonna buy the Royal Rumble, this essentially, for the most part, what happened in this match is essentially what happened in the WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble. As far as the
so it seemed
the
like
ref getting knocked out,
okay.
the low blow, Orton taking the belt and hitting Cena, Cena kicking out eventually.
Mhm.
The only difference is that the Wyatt family didn't come out.
Mhm.
Obviously they were over closer to Pittsburgh
Yeah.
the night before doing another show. So I mean, other than that, when I read the finish at the Royal Rumble to this match,
Well, it wasn't quite.
I wasn't. It was pretty similar, but it wasn't exactly.
When Cena
the
had an
same.
RKO in that match because that's what he hit at the Rumble. At one point, these guys were stealing each other's finishers and trying to beat them.
Yeah,
that way.
there wasn't stolen finishers.
No. Okay,
that's another
Since
difference.
there's a pay per view spin and
But,
different house shows.
Wow, they
But the
probably made
sequen-
sure to add some stuff.
Yeah.
Cause they
But like as far as like the ref getting knocked out, Orton using the belt to hit
Mhm.
Cena, and some of that was the same, and the low blow, and
Yeah.
so
Ooh.
that didn't happen in the match.
So overall,
So
overall thoughts on the show. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
what
it was
what was
it
Matt's thoughts?
was-
I mean, was
it was all right.
Was he satisfied? Disappointed that?
I think he was satisfied, but I mean, again, this was missing CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, The Shield.
Well, actually, he's invited too. I think Pope was at the Cannon, Ohio one show. Either maybe a
No.
teaser of his future.
No, he went to.
Oh
I think
yeah.
he went to see a UFC fight. He
Oh,
was
yeah,
at
oh, yeah.
home or something.
Oh, yeah.
He was away.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, wait.
Kind of like maybe
wait,
like
wait.
Brock Lesnar.
Comic Con.
No, Comic Con was on the 24th. But no,
Okay.
I think of course the next day he was at a UFC event.
Yeah, I read about that too.
So yeah, no. So
'Cause-
Punk wasn't showing him no matter where he was
Right.
going. He was like watching a fight.
Because I was watching an interview today, just because I saw it on, because I just searched CM Punk on YouTube, and it was from the MMA fighting, I guess, from their website,
Yeah.
and it was for just before the Rumble, and they're like, "So, there's like live events going on. Are you gonna be there?" Nope. I took a weekend off, is what he said. He said he's allowed to do
Yeah.
one weekend off that he doesn't have to say crap for reasons why he's
Yeah.
off. So
yeah,
Yeah, and now he's taking a permanent vacation apparently.
yeah. So
but that's that. We're gonna say that for last because
yeah,
it's
yeah, we'll say let's get on to this
Rumble.
Royal Rumble that
okay.
controversial
that
Rumble.
the crowd basically took
Well,
over.
let's go from start to
Now
finish
wait,
here,
now
Tyler. 'cause
I didn't see it.
I
but
did.
Wayne
I
did see
spent
it.
$40-something, watched it on my laptop.
I read enough about it, so
Yeah,
Of course, on
And
the
so
social media outburst after.
Yeah,
that too.
so did I. Yeah, I mean that's
But But no, I watched start to finish. So let's start with the pre-show first of all, because that's
Yeah.
the first thing that shows up. You had Josh Matthews hosting. You had your panelist, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Shawn Michaels, Ric
Yeah.
Flair. The first question Josh Matthews asked Shawn Michaels is, being a two-time Rumble winner, what do you need to do to win the Rumble? And Shawn Michaels just very simply says, make sure that both feet don't hit the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, it was simple and funny at the same time. It probably just showed you how stupid that question is based on a Battle Royal and that. But then they both gave out their predictions of who was going to win the Rumble. Hacksaw Jim Duggan said Dolph Ziggler, which just shocked me. It almost made me think, man, he's in the match. Hacksaw looks like an idiot right now. Sean had 4 picks, actually. He picked all the areas of the Shield, or if all 3 of them get knocked out, they just go with CM Punk to win the whole thing then. And then Ric Flair said Batista. Now, this is during the pre-show.
Yeah.
So they're not hooked up to like any microphones so the live audience
Right.
doesn't really hear them or anything. So like nobody like really heard like these guys said that.
Yeah.
But we get later on and they had to go through that on the actual pay-per-view what their picks were, predictions were. Different story of the audience reaction to these picks. But anyway, then we had the New Age Outlaws versus the Brotherhood, I guess you could say, with Cody Rhodes, and I guess that's what they're pretty much calling themselves
Lost
now.
yeah.
Godas. I mean, it was a pretty basic match. I mean, and I figured this was going to be when they were going to finally drop the belts.
Yeah.
Now, I think
that,
years in advance is going to be to Road Dogg and Billy
Right.
Gunn.
The six-time
Yeah.
tag team champions of the world.
I mean, and just watching Road Dogg and Goldust in the ring together, maybe we just say, man, am I watching 1998 again? Because
yeah.
these guys are all so old right now. And, but the Outlaws, fans seem happy with the title change, even though, like I said, they haven't won since in 14 years.
Right.
But, so I guess it's a comeback moment for these guys, at least briefly. But, no, basic match. It was like a crap.
bring back the old time.
The crowd seemed very satisfied with it because it was the pre-show. So if I get the actual pay-per-view, we open up with Daniel Bryan's theme. Arena goes berserk.
Berserk, yeah.
I mean, that's the best to say. It was clearly a very pro Daniel Bryan crowd, as we've learned throughout the night.
Right.
Bray Wyatt comes out, and they wrestle for a while in that. And you still had Luke Harper and Eric Rowan out there, but then very soon they did get pushed back
Right.
as our pipes are putting in the background.
Yeah.
But they did get sent to the back eventually. So it's a one-on-one match now, and like most people pretty much figured, it was match of the night.
Yeah.
Easily
most
Bray
people,
Wyatt's best
yeah.
match of his tenure so far in this company.
And what do you know? Daniel Bryan was
And, yeah, exactly. And that's even including when he was
Yeah.
Husky Harris at one point for the Nexus. I mean, just the nastiest spot tonight, which broke out a holy shit chant, was Dave Bryan goes for a dive through the ropes,
Yeah.
and Bray Wyatt catches him coming in midair and just hits like a Sister Abigail right against the barricade, like as hard as he can.
That was awesome.
But yeah, no, it was awesome. And so that knocked out Bryan, and Bray got the pin clean. I mean, pretty much
Right.
set up Bray Wyatt for his future WrestleMania opponent. I mean, he kind of needed to get the win, and
Yeah.
Bryan looked good. And most fans didn't really boo. They gave both guys a standing ovation. But they probably also thought
They figured that.
they would do
All right,
something
well,
special later in the night.
Yeah, they probably figured. Well, Daniel Bryan's gonna be in the Royal Rumble match, but that's a little later.
Next up was Brock Lesnar Big Show. Wasn't really much of a match. I think the match only only lasted officially a minute. But it was like maybe a 10-15 minute beatdown though.
Yeah.
3 different chair shots. I mean,
Yeah.
he used 3 different chairs because he broke 2
Because
of them.
yeah, and then of course the next night on Raw we'd see the same thing happen with the
Yeah.
Lesnar's making a habit out of that.
just those chairs just are not strong enough for Brock Lesnar. But no, I mean, Brock looked like a beast here.
Like a
And the
beast,
crowd,
yeah.
it wasn't like the crowd was even shitting on the fact that this was pretty much a non-match match because it's Brock Lesnar.
Right. Probably just make him look strong
Exactly.
coming into WrestleMania.
They knew Big Show was going to get his ass kicked in this
Right.
match, and
They just didn't know it was going to be that short, and
But to be fair, I mean, Big Show, he took so many chair shots. You could see like his back was
Right.
bruised up. I mean, he's going to be sore for a few weeks probably.
yeah,
But no, so Brock Lesnar won. At this point, the show has a very good vibe to it at this
Yeah.
point here. And then we get to the title match. Woo! As soon as Well, first of all, the entrances, both the crowd is shitting on both opponents, Randy Orton and John Cena to start off.
I heard the Daniel Bryan. They were chanting for Daniel Bryan to come out, and they started chanting other random people.
There was oh yeah, Randy Savage chant broke out. I mean, just picture WrestleMania, which I'm sure made Randy Orton really pissed off at this point.
After WrestleMania.
Because that Sheamus Randy Orton match was pretty similar to how this match went.
Yeah.
The crowd just was waiting for something to happen.
This is boring.
But well, actually, that's the first chant. I thought. I mean, as soon as Orton put on a headlock, it was the boring chant started breaking out. There was end this match. This is awful chants. I mean, you name it. Nobody gave a shit about this match. I mean, and hell, these guys even like at one point were stealing each other's finishers to try to get a pinfall, maybe.
Yeah.
And even that, nobody gave two shits,
cared.
really.
Yeah.
So eventually the Wyatts showed up, which kind of got like kind of a mini pop right there.
Because he finally won the end of the match.
John Cena attacked the Ultima in the corner. Then he turned around and got hit with an RKO and got the 3 count of Orton.
Right.
Orton just scrambled the hell out of the ring.
Yeah.
So they were playing it as if he knew nothing about the Wyatts interfering, pretty much. Like he was shocked and he knew, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge as soon as possible here. I'm not gonna fight these guys. Then Bray beats the shit out of John Cena and all the rest of the Harper family, and that pretty much guarantees you we got Bray Wyatt, John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so.
I mean,
I'm a little relieved by that.
Yeah.
So not Cena in the title picture, but we'll get to that.
So then we get back to the because once in a while before a match would start, they would go back to the Josh Matthews and the panel and that, and just they rehash what the predictions were during the pre-show. Except this time the crowd could actually hear what they were saying.
Right.
So we get the Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who's still sticking with Dolph Ziggler at this point in the show. Which, like I said earlier, if he does not show up, and thank God he did show up in the match, because poor Hacksaw looks like an idiot then. Michael was said CM Punk and all 3 members of the Shield, so he had 4 picks. Kind of got like a mini pop there, made for the Punk and a little bit for the Shield. Then Ric Flair says, "I'm going with my man Batista again," and already the crowd was shitting on Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And when Flair says it there, and he hears the boos already echoing, he kind of like turns to the crowd and it says like love it and like it. So he's pretty much was like telling the crowd like, I don't give a shit what you think, it's gonna happen, and you're gonna enjoy it. Which I think already like pictured how the night was gonna go.
Right.
So of course Punk comes out, you have Seth Rollins come out, the match starts, and already the fans are starting to really get into it.
Enjoy it.
Like I said, Alexander Rusev comes out and he looks pretty impressive. The fact that he had 4 people to knock him off, and Kofi Kingston does not just 1 but 2 amazing Rumble saves here.
Yeah.
The big one was the barricade one early on, but he had this nice one with Jack Swagger, which is kind of also hilarious too because he kind of stole Jack Swagger's wrestling boot too while saving himself. Kevin Nash came out. I think they got to a mixed reaction. Actually, it's not like maybe a mini pop, but it was like it was a loud pop. Wasn't like the 2011 with when we came out as Diesel. Because, but no, but it was the NWO theme too, and who doesn't like that theme at this point? JBL's music hit, kind of got like a mini pop too.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think I figured he wasn't going to do anything. So walked into the suit.
That probably took some.
But really, it wasn't until the numbers started getting into the 20s when all of a sudden the Daniel Bryan chant started breaking out. Then at this point, you didn't really hear a whole lot of Daniel Bryan chants early on in the match because they figured, okay, it was coming out for this match. It's going to be later in the entry, not early, because they want to surprise us in that. And actually, up to this point, the biggest pop was Dolph Ziggler coming out because I guess people were like, "Oh, thank God he's back from his second concussion and all that." And thank God, because and of course, at this point, Roman Reigns had 6 eliminations already. So many people are having this whole idea of this guy might actually beat Kane's record, maybe.
Yeah.
Woohoo! But all of a sudden Batista comes out, and already the crowd's just crapping over this guy. And everyone, he came in like a bolt of lightning. He looked fast, quick.
Yeah.
Looks smaller than he did before.
A little bit, yeah.
But again, he's not. He wasn't bodybuilding.
He's mid-40s now, I think.
Wait, he's 45.
Yeah, but he also changed up his style. He's not.
Yeah, he was doing some mixed. He was
mixed
doing
martial arts. So he needs actual muscles, not
Right.
bodybuilding muscles.
Yeah.
But no, so he's hitting some moves here, and he was actually tossing people. He had to stand on with Ryback at one point. Kind of just tossed him out early. Maybe the only time maybe he might have got cheered slightly a bit. Which I guess shows you where Ryback ranks amongst this crowd. as talent goes. But all of a sudden, number 29 comes to Biggie Langston. And actually, at this point, almost everybody who came out at this point was getting booed no matter what.
Yeah,
So
'cause it
poor
wasn't
Biggie
Daniel
Langston
Bryan.
comes out and he gets sort of booed here. But, you know, not too much because people say, oh, you know, it's okay. Number 30 is still here.
Yeah.
The last entry. He has to come out. Dave Bryan has to come out in this entry. But at this point, I'm doing the math and all of a sudden I'm thinking, there's some guy missing. But there were two guys missing. I'm like, where the hell was Xavier Woods?
Yeah.
First of all, because he was advertised for this match, but then I learned that they did like a whole angle where somebody took my ball, like somebody stole my entry number, which probably happens in every Rumble now. But then like, oh wait, Rey Mysterio hasn't come out yet. Oh boy, at least
Who?
I'm gonna feel so bad for this guy in this crowd. And as soon as Rey Mysterio's theme hit, my God, you thought he was the biggest bad guy in the company.
Like, I
They-
think that would have happened to anybody.
I know. It had to be
Anybody,
Ray-
anybody but Daniel Bryan.
It had to be Rey Mysterio. At this point, nobody gave two shits, maybe except for CM Punk at this point, maybe. And maybe even Roman Reigns or some member of the Shield. At this point, nobody gave two shits who won this match. Because at this point, they thought they got screwed out of maybe a
Right.
finish then. So already Daniel Bryan chants are starting up. And I mean, you can hear them echoing still.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is having people getting thrown out and eliminated. And all of a sudden, we're down to the final four. And this is after Roman Reigns tied Kane's record with 11, pretty much. Then Kane tosses out almost CM Punk instantly. Like, literally, it's the final four title, and all four are in a corner. And before they even start fighting, here comes Kane and just throws Punk over. So you barely had a final four here.
Yeah.
So the final three was Sheamus, who just came back that night.
Right.
You know, Triple H's
We
weightlifting buddy.
speculated. Yeah.
And actually, it's funny. For the past few pay-per-views, I mean, Royal Rumbles, he's been like in the final three pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. That's.
I mean, don't he won?
because he won a couple years ago.
He
and,
won.
yeah.
He won
And
2
then
years ago.
Year,
Last year, final three, he was the second
Right.
to last eliminated
Mm-hmm.
by Ryback, and this year he's almost
Right.
second to last eliminated. So this guy clearly has some very powerful friends in the back as far as Rumbles go. So then he gets eliminated by Roman Reigns, which then he breaks the record.
right.
And even though Reigns was getting some minor cheers in the night, also Roman Reigns was the biggest baby face of them. And at one point, before they were about to have their final stare down, they do a close up of each competitor. And you see Batista. It looks like he is breathing as heavy. Like he is just like he is just exhausted. And that's just, I mean, like I said, I don't know if it was that he was actually tired or this was, because Michael Cole did a great job here. It's like, oh, we got this rising star in Roman Reigns coming up.
Yeah.
It gets this veteran in Batista. It's like, okay, this is a great story here for an end here then.
Yeah.
You know, it's old versus new here. It's kind of an interesting story
Yeah.
there.
Sort of like last year when it was.
But it's like,
Rod.
but no, you see
Oh,
Batista,
yeah.
but still, you see this close to Batista. He's like, he's sweating, he's breathing heavy in that. And you have Roman Reigns, who's like just cool as a cucumber.
Right. Who had been in the match and had the limit.
Yeah.
Broke the elimination.
Just broke Kane's record there.
Yeah.
So I mean, you see those images, and it's just automatic. Like even though I knew Batista was gonna win, and
Yeah.
I probably knew probably a week. Like even though I was probably one of those guys saying, "Oh man, I kind of wish Daniel Bryan," but I probably always knew Batista's probably gonna win. There's no way they're gonna bring this guy back a week ahead and just say at the last second.
CM Punk, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet CM Punk was
I-
CM Punk too,
right.
but
Yeah.
anyway, but Batista, you know, well, one thing that really crapped on Batista too was that he later as the match went on, he started botching moves a bit.
Yeah.
But this was his best effort. He needs to do better if he doesn't want to get shit on the road at WrestleMania, which I still think is WWE's biggest fear at this point. Because Randy Orton and Batista maybe closing the match.
So yeah.
Main event.
I mean, if they thought that there were 15,000 marks in tonight, wait, WrestleMania
WrestleMania.
is where you're gonna find
Right.
70,000 of them. And you know, the next night of Raw, you're gonna get the same vocal crowd again because that's how it always is. This is where you get your hardcore fans showing up because this is the biggest show of the year pretty much. So if I'm WWE, I'm gonna be terrified. But that's probably why there was news coming out later. But anyway, as soon as Batista hits a spear on Reigns, which kind of botches a bit,
Yeah.
the fans crap on it. And then you know, they said something this Ultimate Warrior, you know, his thumbs up, thumbs down one, gets just booed the crap out of. Turns around, spear by Reigns, a nice spear in that,
Yeah.
and a stipulation. At that point, I'm just like, oh my god, please let Reigns win at this point. Because this one's just going to point where it's just like, I know Batista's going to win. But at this point, I'm just like, if this is his work ethic at this point here, I don't want to see him in the main event.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Because I'm just afraid it's going to be a bad match.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because really, has this guy even had a singles match yet? Because he's botching in a Rumble Battle Royal match.
Yeah.
You know, what's he going to do in a singles match then?
I'm embarrassed.
But
Yeah, you might have to keep on that button there.
so Reigns picks up Batista and looks like he's going to throw him out. Almost kind of like Del Rio Santino in 2011. Batista just swings around and throws him out of the ring. And that's how you end the Rumble match then. And just then, you hear this loud "I Walk Alone" music, his theme music. At this point, I think the company, because I think at some points they do this. They play the music so high that they hope they can maybe cover up the
Right.
booze,
Yeah.
so it doesn't sound
Because,
that bad. But no, I've seen YouTube videos of the ending. It was loud.
It was bad. Yeah.
You could hear it, but you could tell they're trying to cover it up. And this point, Batista's like trying to ignore it at one point. Obviously, you hear stories afterwards where he clearly was going to start getting the best of him.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, hater.
But yeah, so Batista then wins the match. They end the pay-per-view, and that was that. I kind of wish we would have saw the endings, because then supposedly he flipped the fan
Apparently
off.
he gave
Well,
But he did the Daniel.
he went on the mic to complain to the crowd,
Yeah,
and then I guess as he was leaving, that's when he had that whole.
yeah.
yeah. He
No, went over the barricade. after
exactly.
first.
He threatened to break a fan in half because the guy
Right.
gave him the middle finger as he walked up the aisle. And then
I mean-
Batista gave him the middle finger back.
I don't blame the crowd, because here's the thing: The Rock trained before he came back
Yeah.
with some young guys. If Batista came back and just did sloppiness right off the bat, it's like, well, did you actually take time to train back?
He signed.
into
Yeah,
the
I mean,
mode?
they hyped his return a couple weeks in advance, and then boom, he's in the Rumble.
Yeah, but they could have.
The Rock,
he
it
could have
was-
been training.
Yeah, The Rock, he was back, and then they make the WrestleMania match way in advance, and then they have
Oh yeah.
eventually the tag team
But
match.
The Rock also knew he needed to get back in shape.
Right,
You're telling
yeah.
me Batista didn't know to get back in shape for this when he
Yeah,
knew
right,
clear
yeah.
well?
But
Here's the thing: he signs on for 2 years.
2
He
years.
signed on for 2 years. It's not a short contract. It's 2 years. And I found this out from the CM Punk interview they did with
Right.
MMA. He said that's why Punk doesn't mind Batista coming back, because
There's
Batista's
like-
doing 2
yeah.
straight years.
Was that
It's
like
not
the
just part time.
That was
it's kind of like
the
Conor
5-minute
one spoke
one.
a little bit differently, though. He did say he didn't mind Dave because I like Brock and Rock, and that's the way I word it. I like Brock
Yeah,
and Rock.
I think
He
yeah.
is working kind of full
That's how
time
he-
these 2 years. He is going to be making Raw appearances and so
Wait,
on.
that's what I said. That's what he said with the
the other
MMA one.
yeah.
Yeah, but he had something in the beginning though, which
Yeah.
which
What was
probably
the beginning?
It's like a 5-minute video or something.
I'd have to
with
look it
Comic
up.
Comic Con. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see it? It was like it's like Portland,
He
Oregon.
like
or something.
jokes. Yeah, he jokes in the beginning about I'm probably gonna tick some people off about this or something.
Yeah, but who cares at this
Yeah,
point?
but who cares? Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
which I just spoke
I-
volumes about why what happened.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, yeah.
but how it ended then was that he mocked the yes chant, and as he was mocking, he
Yeah.
was you know how like, Brian does like the pointer finger.
right.
Well, put up the middle finger and do it. So
Right.
not surprising. Supposedly officials were pissed off at Batista because that's not how you professionally conduct in front of
Yeah.
paying fans. And not to mention that you're frightened a fan specifically that you're gonna just jump over the barricade and beat him up.
Right.
That's not how you perform professionally. And I guess we have maybe more respect for John Cena now.
Yeah.
He was cool.
Yeah, there's a positive about Batista. He made me maybe hate Cena a little less now.
Yeah.
Because at least when Cena gets shit on, at least he kind of jokes around about it. And even,
And
even,
then-
even if he's pissed off, at least he'll do it like backstage, like away from the cameras. And
Yeah.
Again, that's the main thing that ticks me off about is the fact that you got to be kidding me. You're coming back and you botch, one of your key moves, the spear.
Yeah.
Like you're telling why? Why did you come back? then
His
if you don't
spear,
get
yeah,
ready?
his spears normally were, they weren't that great.
Well, no,
Yeah, but
no,
this
no,
one
but
was-
he
This one
almost
was-
completely missed. I mean, he
This one
hit
was-
him in the side of his hip is
Right.
what it came down to. I mean, and it's still it hurt for Reigns, like because he actually did like run into his hip full speed. And Reigns had to like sell it, and it's like, oh god, my hip now. But no, I mean, I knew Roman Reigns was not going to win, but and the Reigns credit, at least he to show you how high they are on this guy, he just break Bill
Right.
Kane's record.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which-
that's a record that's held for like 13
hopefully,
years
yeah.
now. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Yeah, which should obviously lead to hopefully something good, if throughout later this year for Roman Reigns.
but obviously.
should.
But obviously, all this intrigue then led to the whole, well, how's the fans? Because I guess, and that was Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh was ECW territory at one
Yeah.
point here. And this was clearly hardcore fans, kind of bit.
Mhm.
Maybe some casual fans. I mean, if it was, they were getting blocked out pretty
pretty
fast.
much.
But it's Cleveland, Ohio, then and Raw. And I was thinking to myself, Ohio just 50-50.
You
I
don't even
know
have
they're
to
going
go
to be.
that far. You just look at the social media that blew up when I
Yeah.
checked Facebook the following day, just to
Yeah.
view the comments on anything involving the Rumble, especially like Batista.
Right.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, there was two sides, but then there was also some other sides, and it was just some people were like, "We want Daniel Bryan," and some people were like, "Are you shitting me? It's Daniel Bryan. He sucks. Let's go with CM Punk." Then somebody said Roman Reigns. But the main thing was it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I was about ready to copy some of these and print these out and show you because they went
Yeah.
crazy. And I mean, the main thing was most people agreed on was they hated the outcome of the Rumble. They hated the fact Batista won. That was the main thing. Now there was people who divided so many other ways, and there were a few people who defended, but it was like slight few. But it was just crazy, the outcrying. And that was Facebook. I don't even know what Twitter did, but Twitter probably went off the wall and, up a flagpole or something. But that, to me, that was the crazy outpouring.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew about the Rumble being a whole crap show. I was like,
Mhm.
okay.
Mick Foley wasn't happy on his Twitter account.
I was not. Yeah, Mick Foley
He
spoke.
threatened to, if Daniel Bryan not win the Rumble, he was going to throw a brick through his television.
Right.
I did.
and we treated, well, I guess it's broke my television because Daniel Bryan's not even in the match.
Yeah.
But he even said like he could not believe that WWE would completely ignore their fan base.
Yeah.
Like not even give him an appearance or anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, then I guess WCW, we didn't advertise him in it or in advance. So what the hell would you expect him to say anything?
Yeah.
I mean, but
Well, because some fans were remembering to last year's Rumble where they said and made the stipulation, anybody's available, including if you competed in a match earlier that
Right.
night.
Coy, not
That
to-
was the
Coy
stipulation.
not to mention that there's always been people who's played double duty.
Yeah.
There's always been people in the past that have wrestled early
Well,
on.
I'm
and
saying,
wrestled-
though, last year was the time they actually mentioned it. 2012, they never mentioned that. They didn't say anybody, including those who were earlier in the pay-per-view. They say anybody could show up, but they never said anybody, including those in the... This last year, they made sure it was specific, including those in the earlier pay-per-view, like Big Show, who came out.
Yeah.
But
but
that's
uh,
why probably some fans were
Yeah.
ticked and they were hoping.
But and like I said, and of course Raw opened up. But then again, you heard stories earlier in the night about how there was some last second rewrites,
Yeah.
and obviously some might have to do with the Rumble reaction, but obviously I think a lot of it had to do with what happened earlier, like right before Raw was going on the air. Some backstage
Right.
shenanigans that took place.
Right.
That's probably what really probably led to the cluster of maybe an
Mhm.
opening we had for Raw,
Right.
probably. But no, I mean, so we guess we're going to Raw now.
Yeah.
Totally can.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much covered the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ended as a kaboom.
Yeah. Obviously, which we'll get to, CM Punk wasn't part of this Raw.
Mhm. We would learn why later
Yeah.
on and via
Yeah.
Bleacher Report and any other wrestling outlets out there, suppose we.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I wasn't too blown away by this episode of Raw to begin with. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you had obviously the Brock Lesnar challenge. Obviously, I don't know what you.
Which I knew was going to happen because Brock doesn't
Right.
wrestle for free. I mean,
Yeah.
this doesn't happen.
Yeah. And of course, later on during a tag team match, he comes out in F5's Cody Rhodes and or the
Goldust.
brothers,
Yeah.
the Brotherhood or whatever, and
Hits some chairs and then breaks another chair.
right breaks another backrest off of the chair.
We're
And,
done.
A new Brock Lesnar T-shirt. He breaks backs and chairs.
Yeah.
Triple H's response: the tag team match for next week is on, but it's in a steel cage.
yeah.
So what? Is Lesnar gonna break the cage now?
No. Quite honestly, I don't think Lesnar's going to make any more appearances anymore. I mean,
Yeah,
At least not for a while.
Well, I should say that they still got to figure out this whole.
they got to figure out.
Taker
Yeah,
thing.
Well, that's the thing here too. He is challenging Taker. At this point, that's still on to this point here.
right.
Although, like I said, there have been supportedly an extreme creative meeting, emergency creative meeting taking place Tuesday and Friday, and supposedly everything's on the table in this creative meeting as far as future storylines,
Right.
including WrestleMania storylines. So some people have already been guessing, does this mean Batista is in the Rumble, but he's a heel now? Is Orton dropping the belt at the Chamber? Is Daniel Bryan in the main event now? Is Sting gonna wrestle? Because there's been three also like Hall of Fame names being mentioned. Hulk Hogan hosting the Mania this year, not getting any physical role, thank God. The Ultimate Warrior wrestling one more match at the age of 54
No.
against Ryback, which means Ryback will either destroy this 54-year-old man, or he's gonna experience what Triple H experienced in 1996, which is like losing this man in less than a minute, probably.
Probably
Are
losing
you
less than a
kidding
minute.
me?
Losing
And
less
then
than a
finally, Sting supposedly not a match, especially no Taker Sting match,
Right.
but Sting might make his debut at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Maybe come down off of the Raptors. Maybe
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that because I don't.
We don't need to know when Hart is.
Exactly. No one's seen the Owen Hart in WWE again. And the man's once again in his 50s. But no, supposedly that's happened today and it's happening tomorrow. Whatever that means, I don't know. I guess we're gonna find Raw out because
Yeah.
So it's happening Thursday and Friday?
today and tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Supposedly,
you said Tuesday and Wednesday. That's what I was
no.
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. It's being called an emergency creative meeting.
Well, I guess we'll see if they completely change wheels on Monday Night Raw and all of a sudden it changes something different.
I mean, no. They already have to call an audible because
Yeah.
once Punk left, Triple H doesn't have an opponent now,
Yeah.
and rumors are now it's Daniel Bryan, which makes me
Right.
happy slightly a bit because it was going to be Sheamus originally,
I don't need to see
and
that.
now even though he might not be in the main event, at least it's a little bit higher up the card now.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, just keep
And
going.
then-
Keep
yeah.
going.
So and then anyways, and then they're trying to set up this elimination chamber match.
Mhm.
They had the main event, the 6-man tag match, which it's kind of. I mean, the Wyatt's interfering on that. Obviously, it was kind of disappointing because the Shield lost then essentially by DQ.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Got their own payback, huh?
so once again, yeah. So once again, it's like
I mean, were you shocked though? Honestly, when they put John Cena, Sheamus, and Daniel Bryan together, I'm like, against the Shield. Okay, 3 big time guys who have been world champions, 3 newcomers.
Yeah, Coy, but the Shield have beaten teams like this before.
right.
It's not like it's like this is
but
unheard
you're-
of.
You're throwing in the fact that to enter the Elimination Chamber. We all know if they put the Shield in there,
Yeah.
not
right,
a single
it's-
one of them is going to win
Yeah.
that title. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah, but
that's
you
the
could
truth.
also inherit. You could also
Now,
move forward
granted,
the
there are
Ascension
2
storyline
spots still
now.
left open, so maybe
Which
they
is-
have the two.
Okay. Spoilers. It's Antonio Cesaro and Christian.
How'd you
Yeah,
find
they-
that one out?
yeah, on
SmackDown. SmackDown.
and they were advertising
They said it was
Christian's
gonna be
return.
Now here's the thing there too. Supposedly Cesaro was always planned to be in it. He was good, but supposedly, you know how the Kofi Kingston Del Rio match kind of went longer than what you would have thought it would have went.
Yeah.
Apparently that was the same. Where Punk was supposed to come out and wrestle Cesaro, get screwed by Kane, and Cesaro was going to be in the chamber match. Now, knowing the fact that Punk wore a Cesaro shirt at last year's WrestleMania, I don't think he left because he didn't want to drop to Cesaro. I think he knew storyline-wise that made sense. Actually, one of the things that supposedly pissed him off that really made him really want to get out was when Punk, the creative Punk said he was going to go home. They said fine, but can you do
Are we
an
jumping
angle?
on this now? Because I thought we were trying to finish off the Monday.
Okay,
Night Raw.
okay.
For
Let's go.
the most part, we kind of did.
Okay,
finish
well, I
that.
wanted to make sure we didn't
Okay,
cover. I'm
okay.
just saying, though,
There's nothing-
like I said, there
Yeah.
wasn't that much of a surprise
Well,
finish for me.
wait, wait,
Right.
I
and
was-
There wasn't.
Well,
yeah.
anyway, Christian beat
Yes,
Jack
no.
Swagger to get in, and Seb Coulter kind of smacked against Jack Swagger. Supposedly around again, so obviously the real Americans are breaking up, and woo! Seb Coulter's turning on the American and siding with the Swede. I mean, the Swiss man, the guy from Switzerland, Cesaro, or Claudio Castaneves, or I guess I would call him. I'm glad he's in the chamber. That guy has been held back for so long.
Right.
He's so better than what he's been advertised.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, supposedly then they told Punk, okay, well, if you're going to go, can you do an angle? And I guess then they brought up the whole, can you go out and tell people, I got to go, I have a concussion. And then Punk just said,
Yeah.
that's stupid, I'm not going to do it,
Right.
I'm leaving.
Pass the concut. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's like, I passed concussion test. There's no sign that I ever suffered a concussion in the past. So you tell me I need to make up that I had a concussion, And that's why I have to leave for like the next couple of months and maybe never come back.
Gotta give you a few days to rest.
So Punk, like I guess how you figured he might have gone out,
Yeah.
just yelling at Kratos' face and telling Vince McMahon, "I'm going home," supposedly, and he went home.
And there's
That's one. There's been numerous
That's
stories.
been-
yeah,
yeah.
well, there's the whole thing apparently money. I guess it was more with the network
And he's
because nobody knows what's going on with the
That was
pay-per-view
talk-
thing.
Yeah.
And when the MMA fighting guys interviewed Punk, they said, "Did you guys even know about the network?" He's like, "Nope." That's sort of like Vince. Vince just goes with it. He's like, none of us were notified, and he even said, "We have no clue what's going on with the pay-per-view stuff. I don't know what's going on with my pay-per-view check and everything."
Yeah.
And for some of those guys, that is decent money that
Yeah.
they get.
Yeah.
So if
You
they
talk about
lose
guys
it,
like-
it's, whew.
You're talking to guys like Cody Rhodes and that, like guys in the mid card.
Right.
That's a pretty big paycheck, and if the network's going to cut that check in half, or hell, maybe there's some more pay per view bonuses with the network as far as pay per views go. Because, like I said, I told Coy, I think buy rates are gone too with pay per views for WWE. Because I don't know how you keep track of who watched the pay per view network and
Wow.
who didn't watch
The
it.
wrestlers don't even know what's going on. But what I mean, Punk said because when they got interviewed, he asked about the $10 fees. Like, look, it basically you're saying it was a double-edged sword. It's great for the fans. It's $10. He's like,
Yeah.
I wish in 1997
Yeah,
that deal was there because I would have loved it because
Right.
watching wrestling every day.
Yeah.
But then he also said, well, then you have to look at our end, the boys and that. And
Yeah.
we don't know what's going on with this pay-per-view stuff. So
and people wonder why
So
there's been
he
talk
might-
of wrestlers forming unions eventually down
he
the
might
road.
have left to make a statement saying, look,
Yeah.
you guys, because maybe they finally released it and were like, oh, sorry, guys, you're going to have to take a pay cut for pay-per-view stuff.
Well,
And he was like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Well, the story
You
is
put Baron
also
Cartman.
the story is that the whole idea was that well, the reason why that makes sense also is because supposedly the day he left, which was of course like I said around 7:30, supposedly on Monday, they were supposed to have that meeting explain to the talent that day, but they canceled it that day,
Yeah.
which got to make some talent members go, okay, we're in the dark again. Which I mean, and like I said, the Comic Con interview too. Punk said, like I said, he brought the whole Dave Bautista deal too.
Mhm.
They said, look, this year was Daniel Bryan's
Daniel Bryan-
year.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he said, he says to me, Daniel Bryan, it's just like me, like a year ago. I thought last year was my year. Held the title for so long. I did this, wrestled every show.
Right.
Tried not really except for that one time TLC. Didn't really get hurt at all.
Yeah.
And once again, a part-time guy just crawls right in there and takes my spot away. Even though I work a whole year. This guy just works a couple of months. Then I did say, then you go, well, I like Dave. We're buddies and that, and we do communicate. And he's not just gonna come in for one pay-per-view and leave for like 6-7 months. He'll actually work like a Raw almost every week and that. But he's still like, come on, this is Daniel Bryan's year, and that.
MMA fighting thing. He also supported Bryan. Said it. He also liked how it was similar to when he was coming up. He actually gets to see it, kind of the same reaction, the same way. So kind of battling from being this low person to going up. He said some other stuff on there. It was a pretty good interview. I'm trying to recall because there was one other thing I wanted to bring up with it. I just lost it for a
Yeah.
moment. So
I mean,
continue
it's-
on with something else I was like,
Yeah.
trying to think.
And I mean, his contract doesn't expire until July,
July.
supposedly. So I mean, yeah, I mean, who knows right now?
Well, here's the deal too, Tyler. Even if he comes back, there's rumors that he's not even going to renew it. Then he'll just
Yeah.
even if he comes back around July, he's done.
I mean, that could, yeah. I mean, he's
He's-
been saying too. He's been hinting too that he's been
some people-
doing this since he was like 15, and
Well,
he's got some miles on him.
That's what he said in interviews too. He has
Right.
mileage on. He kind of took a shot.
Cenat's been less. Yeah,
Cena from 2001 to 2002 is when he started
right.
wrestling.
He's a little older, but he doesn't have as much.
he doesn't have as much
wrestling
mileage
experience.
as
Right.
Punk does. Punk was
yeah,
like-
that's
like people kept bringing about what's up with the Attitude Era. And Punk's like, I never really watched the Attitude Era
Right.
because I was
He's
working that.
Busy working.
I was working the independents during that time period.
that's what it was. He was mentioning a lot about him being there for 10 years with the company,
Mhm.
and part of it was also how he's saying, you know how some of these guys they don't work. I worked for almost 10 years straight. He doesn't really take breaks. He took like a 2-month break. I forget back when.
Yeah.
And he said he was usually working around the clock.
which that can take a toll, and it looked
Yeah.
like he did because they did the interview from his home, but
Yeah.
it looked like a toll. You could just tell looked like he was exhausted. I'm like,
Well, even,
why aren't you taking a
even-
break, dude? I mean, I know you're hard
Gotta
working,
give
but
a few days to rest.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even in this Comic Con event, he even like you could tell in his face, he almost had this like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
Yeah.
and that's I guess what it came down to is that it's the money. I mean, it's probably about money too. But if you start hanging your work,
Yeah.
and he's even said like he even said in the Comic Con event, he said, look, I can retire now.
Yeah.
To show you how much money I can
he said he
spend,
saved-
I
yeah.
can spend it still be fine. I can drive across to San Francisco, buy a new car, drive that car all the way over to the East Coast, and just drive it into an ocean.
Yeah.
And I'd still be made for life.
Yeah.
He says that's how much money he has saved, and he can he doesn't need to worry about it anymore. Like he to him all this is extra now that he has from WWE. Pretty much, he's safe. He's not Ric Flair. He's
He's
not in
unable
debt
to
because he
secure.
made some stupid
Yeah.
mistakes in his personal
Straight
life.
edge and
Yeah.
you know.
That's probably one thing that's probably saved him money. No money on
not
alcohol,
Ric Flair.
cigarettes, nothing. He's
Yeah.
probably saved money just by making that decision alone.
He,
But in the same interview, he brought up about how says the
he
part.
mentioned some of the same stuff in the MMA thing.
Well,
too.
that like,
Yeah.
like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if
Some of
this
the
is already
crossover.
this is already a sign of like pretty much But supposing in the same interview, well, actually, I should say it was only 5 minutes of Comic Con. But
Yeah.
there were people who live did say there was some stuff that wasn't on video yet that hasn't leaked online. But like one was about Sting, and he said like I hope they don't bring up Sting because I think he's tanked.
Yeah.
Like he's 54 years old. I don't think the guy has anything left. I think it ran out years ago.
Mhm.
But then he says I don't mind creative. But then it came down to the whole point of someone asked him about how you satisfied with the product right now, and he actually said, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even watch the product now unless
Yeah,
it wasn't
he
an
said,
employee.
Yeah, that's been a big reason too.
Yeah.
Like he's unhappy with the creative direction
Yeah.
right now.
And actually,
Yeah.
that's the final thing that I noticed in the interview too. He brought about how, if he ran a company, he wouldn't be worrying about playing WrestleMania 30 right now. He would have been planning WrestleMania 31 right now.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 30 would have
that
been
was the key.
WrestleMania 30 would have been in the
Yeah.
pipeline
I
done.
agree.
Yeah.
And so it's most of the other year. Because it came down to is that this whole idea of long term, short term, and he says
Right.
the company's whole deal right now is short term, which is probably why he brought up the whole. Well, I didn't know about the network idea because nobody told me about the network
Right.
idea.
Yeah.
I mean, he kept his main statement. He kept saying was just, it's Vince's company, Vince's direction.
Yeah.
I would do stuff differently, but it's like it's not my company. It's Vince's company. So he's kind of just saying about how he's chugging along. One other thing he brought up though, because it was asked about him, was about the Ultimate Warrior, and there's been rumors about who to induct him and everything, and CM Punk said, well, there's talk about Hulk Hogan, but he's like, the Ultimate Warrior. The thing interesting about him is there's a lot of guys from his time frame that hate his guts, talk trash
Yeah.
on him. He's like, him and Hogan, that'd be horrible. They'd kill each other. And he said, I talked to Vince, and he said, I threw my hat into it. Now, this is, of course, obviously before he left.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
apparently he threw his hat in about possibly being the one inducting the Ultimate Warrior. And it's not like they're buddy-buddy, but they do talk, and they do, apparently Ultimate Warrior follows him and keeps, up to date. Because they were always, apparently they communicate pretty well. So that was one thing with the interview. I thought that was interesting, but obviously, it's pointless now. It's kind of left. Unless he comes back. Maybe he'll make a magical appearance at the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's in there too. Some people have been saying about how this is all just a very collaborative work by CM Punk. I'm like saying, no, it's not. They unfollowed him on Twitter. They pulled his DVD off of Netflix. And usually what that means is this guy's not getting any more money from us. Especially
They still left it on YouTube movies though. YouTube still has it on their movie set. They
okay,
haven't
point.
pulled it from there yet.
Okay, but the
And
fact
they
is,
still haven't removed his Facebook yet. So
Okay.
I mean, like I said, it's a half. We don't know yet because it's not like anybody
All I-
officially.
all I know
released.
is he got unfollowed on Twitter and he pulled his DVD off of Netflix, which usually is a pretty good sign. And also that they haven't even acknowledged this. But you know
they've
the
been
fact they did
ignored.
acknowledge though? Brock Lesnar getting fined $10,000. You know why? Because that's a storyline
Mhm.
on WWE.com. That's not real life. And honestly, I'd be surprised they didn't even acknowledge this at all because I think they want this. They want this out of people's heads, Tyler, as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I say, good luck with that. Payback is
Yeah.
in Chicago this year. Last time I checked. And if Punk's not on the card or not even featured at all, good trying to get the Chicago faithful to shut the hell up about
Yeah.
CM Punk.
Well, heck, just
It's
even
gonna be
going into
interesting.
Mania, you're gonna have people constantly thinking, and it's gonna
Yeah.
continue
But
going
yeah,
on.
next week
So-
on Raw, if it's a ruckus crowd, go try to get those people to shut
we
up.
want we want Punk. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
what if those chants start breaking? You know, or
Like I said,
something
and
like
this is
that.
literally
Yes.
CM Punk.
this is
chants.
literally a month before the network's supposed to launch.
Right. Yeah.
And they need subscribers, and who's to say some people boycott the subscription?
Yeah. Especially after what happened with the Royal Rumble
Yeah.
pay-per-view. I mean, there's gonna.
Well, and it's
And-
also the fact that this close to your big event, your Super Bowl, WrestleMania,
Right.
and he's gone, and it's like this is a guy that has a pretty good fan base. I mean, don't get me wrong. Are there going to still be people watching the product? Yes, but you are going to have people constantly wondering, well, what the heck happened to Punk? Where is he at?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of fans out
Yeah.
there who do love Punk and how he does things. So,
Yeah. Not
Punk,
just
if you
not
end
just
up
the,
watching this video, we want you back.
IWC.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
not just
Yes,
the
yes, a very
Some-
strong
you know.
minority that is the internet wrestling
Yeah,
community.
apparently,
Because God forbid, nobody owns a computer in this country and in the world anymore.
Yeah, it goes on the internet, right? Exactly. So
But yeah, no, it's. I mean, from a WWE standpoint, here, this had to be the worst time imaginable. Which
yeah,
makes you wonder here.
We're not
Did
even at Mania
Punk maybe
set a tone here.
Have it planned.
Well, no, that they possibly burn a bridge, much like a Bret Hart and Ultimate Warrior, even Hulk Hogan, where even it gets to the point where he might have to wait 40-something years till he doesn't even get brought up in a Hall of Fame induction. Like did he actually burn a bridge with the company to the point
See,
where it's like
don't.
we don't want to associate you for years until people like
Yeah,
stop talking about this for a moment.
I don't know. It's either that or maybe he might have just done a Stone Cold where it's going to take a few years. It's not going to take as many years. The Stone Cold also left. He just upped and left. He was like, I'm done.
He left for the rest of 2002. He came back and he finished up his contract in 2003. Granted, that's when we're really
Yeah.
getting bad. And
Yeah.
he only came back really wrestled one more match with The Rock, and that was about it. And I said, if Punk would come back, it'd probably just be for one more match because it sounds like for him, based on the interviews, he's almost done. Like he's
Yeah.
mentally, physically, it's.
Mhm.
Like it's all time again here. It's not has this company really changed direction in 3 years? Probably
Yeah.
internally, probably.
No.
not
And
really.
I mean, when he got, I remember watching his DVD, and when he called up his two big friends that he really wanted to have opinion from was Joey Mercury and was it Ace Steel?
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? Ace
Yeah.
Steel. 'Cause I almost said Axel. I don't know why I said Axel. And they basically they said almost the same thing. It's basically, well, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to stay. It's like, well, then you should stay. You're not going to be able to change stuff sitting on your living room couch.
Yeah.
And I mean, he gave it a shot. He tried to do stuff, and you could tell, even with the MMA interview, he basically got to the point where when the guy also was interviewing, saying about, well, you know where you're going in this direction. You know, you're up here, and now you're here. He's like, it's whatever. He just kept saying,
Actually,
it's whatever.
actually,
It's whatever.
and actually, Corey brought up the whole work ethic deal. Like, there's some people say, well, Punk's work ethic's been slow. Punk actually admitted that in the Comic-Con thing. It wasn't on video, but it posted that also got mentioned. So I noticed that
He's
your
probably
matches.
motivated. Yeah.
Well, that's what he said. He says, well, pretty much what I do now is they tell me to do something, I just do it.
Yeah.
Like, without a care in the world now.
Mhm.
So whatever creative mind he had in the ring, gone. Like I said, this guy it just got to the point now where I think he stopped fighting back pretty much. He gave up, and I was like, just hit the point where he's just like, wait a minute, I don't need to put this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm financially secured here. I have no financial need to be with this company anymore. Especially if I'm seeing them treat some of my buddies like shit, or some people who've been treated similar to how I've been treated. You know, clearly it's just been a repeating circle, I guess in his mind. Nothing's really changed.
But he also probably thought, well, if I'm not going to get the last thing basically on my checklist, which is the main event of WrestleMania, he's like, look, I at least did a lot of other stuff. I mean, he's a long time WWE champion reign, DVD sailed, you know, all this other stuff. So he probably just decided, hey,
The epic pipe bomb.
yeah.
And that's
You know.
that's actually another interview I saw too. It was during a WrestleMania 29 press conference, and they actually asked him about how does it feel not to be in the main event of WrestleMania 29 this year, and he says, I'm not gonna lie, it sucks, and it feels like I let myself down.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
It's for him it was failure because he worked his ass off that year,
Right.
and to even face the Undertaker and put on what he thought was a very good program,
What was the
and
match
just
of the night?
that was
you
the
know?
and
whole-
just to get shaved not by one but two matches
Yeah.
by
Well-
part timers nonetheless.
I mean, if you look at it, he tried it with the WWE Championship going into WrestleMania 28. That didn't get him into the main
Well, that's the
event.
thing there too.
And then
Him and
he
Jericho.
tries it with Taker.
Yeah,
And Taker, who has actually closed out Manias before with his streak, didn't.
Yeah.
And he lost to the same two guys twice. I'm pretty sure that irked him bad. Because you lost to the same two guys who, don't get me wrong, WrestleMania 28, good marketing, once in a lifetime. You really think that was a good way to end it? Let's have twice in a lifetime to
Yeah,
end Mania.
especially with
Oh
you know,
my
it
God.
felt like at that point it felt like the whole CM Punk, you know, was just keeping the title warm for John Cena. Then the main event spot at WrestleMania. You know, as far as like The Rock coming back, and you know, everybody kind of figured, all right, The Rock's gonna win the belt, but that was just just so that Cena could then win it at WrestleMania.
I mean,
you know,
Well, look, they didn't have to be in the main event. It's like, okay, you didn't put your title on as the main event in 28. You're giving us the same show, though, as the main event in 29, but there's the title. You guys could just backed it up on the card and threw something else forward, which
Right.
could have been Punk Undertaker. Because honestly, out of all that card, don't get me wrong, there were some good mid-card matches that I didn't mind watching,
Yeah.
because I actually own the DVD. But Punk and Undertaker has to be the best main event one. And it's like, but it's not the
But-
main event.
right.
That would have had fans down, going wild, and you probably would have had an excellent way to end Mania. It didn't happen.
No.
I mean, it's not. Don't get me wrong. I am a Rock fan, but Once in a Lifetime was great. But if you're going to say
Twice
once in a
yeah.
lifetime, do not tell me you're going to do it again at Mania
Right.
29 next year. I get it. It's a
Right.
passing of the torch. Then change your title. Think the idea better.
Yeah.
but no, I mean, and like I said, I mean, and the thing also is that Punk said he just wanted to be in a main event, not
have to
win the
it.
main
Right,
event.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just to be closing the show.
I mean,
Right.
heck, The Miz was in a
It's-
main
it's-
event.
It's like the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Many
Miz
athletes.
was in it.
Well, that's the thing. But
One of the worst
but
wrestlers.
Tyler-
Battles of the Cleveland there.
well, that's the other thing too.
God.
Dolph Ziggler took to his. He's actually the only active guy that's actually responded to this.
Yeah.
But he actually said, keep voicing your opinion to the universe there, but don't ask my opinion on this issue here. But don't ask my opinion on if I'm leaving anytime soon because my contract. I still have 1 more year left of my contract,
Yeah.
which to me I think is almost indicator of 1 more year. Then I'm out of here. Because
I mean, yeah.
really, you think about it, he got screwed with we did.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Zack Ryder hasn't left.
That's probably another guy you can throw
Yeah.
in there too. Had a successful web series, got over, had top guys behind him, and got a U.S. belt, and then all of a sudden,
I mean, we knew he was not going to be WWE champion,
Oh,
but he
hell
could
no.
at least stayed.
not with that
mid-card.
gimmick, not with that gimmick. But
He had mid-card talent. Yeah,
someone said it. Actually, this is the part. I actually did agree with Don Tony when he said this. He says that Zack Ryder was the Hurricane.
Yeah.
He was Hurricane Helms essentially. Because when Hurricane Helms wrestled back in the day, like it's The Rock and that, like for like comedy feuds and that, nobody said, oh yeah, we're a champion right here, material here. It was no, but this guy's at least getting, he's entertaining at least. And
and heck, he got a win on The Rock.
exactly.
He got a win
Granted,
with some help from
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
but
And actually,
still a win. It's still a win on his number list.
and actually, if you notice, once the Hurricane got the 3 count, Austin's music was still playing. So people were kind of laughing. That's right, Hurricane, Hurricane, Hurricane.
Yeah. 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 So.
But I mean, like I said, it's.
It's up in the
It's-
air.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
maybe some comedy here though is that TNA on their YouTube page actually
Oh, Lord.
they during the pipe bomb one, and he was trying to go. TNA said here on TNAWrestling.com on demand you can watch CM Punk when he wrestled in TNA for like maybe a year or something or a couple of months, and and so it's almost like, oh yeah, and he's coming our way, And once again, I don't know if this is being done the same because he's not signing with TNA.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to sign with
Heck,
TNA. I don't think he wants to sign with TNA. TNA is at this point the Titanic, it's hit the iceberg and it's slowly sinking and sinking.
Titanic sinked a little faster than this does, but
But I mean, and
this
then
is basically
and
if a horse was shot, but not shot for a lethal kill.
and don't get me wrong here. Some people are trying to link this Punk quitting as the same as AJ Styles leaving and now apparently Sting leaving TNA. I'm like, no, because as Punk said in his pipe bomb promo, it's a wheel.
Yeah, and people
They
were
just-
bringing
they take one out, they put one back in.
spoken the
Yeah,
wheel.
It's
Yeah,
spoken a
yeah,
wheel.
and people.
It's a massive corporation.
people
They
were
will
bringing
live
that up.
without him and maybe even Dolph Ziggler
Yeah.
when he decides to leave.
People will continue to pour money.
That's
in
how
this,
the company.
This
It's a
company
reality
and-
about this company. It's you run until it probably sad. It's horse racing. You run until you can't go anymore, and then you just take you out back and they shoot you pretty much. I mean,
Well,
they
heck,
put you out of your misery. It's Old Yeller pretty much.
Bully Ray
Yippee-ki-yay.
apparently posted on Twitter something about saying, "Yeah, CM Punk, come right ahead and come TNA." I'm like, he is not gonna come to you.
No, he's not.
He's not going to go back to Ring of Honor because it doesn't have the same guys there. He's just going to stop. I don't even think he wants to continue. I mean, he might sit back and watch some old DVDs of wrestling. But
I tell you
don't
one
think
thing,
he's
though.
going to actually.
you
wrestle.
want to know the one show I might want to maybe pay attention to? Cole Cabana's podcast, his best buddy.
Yeah,
That's true.
We'll be surprised if that's maybe his first interview
yeah, that's
after
true.
this whole thing because he's been pretty quiet on it since it's happened. But I'm pretty sure if he
Other
wants to
than-
give his buddy Cole Cabana some massive podcast ratings, he'll
Wow.
go on his buddy's show and he won't lie to his best friend.
I mean, he's been quiet other than the fact that his Twitter has been going out to every single person that follows him and doing a simple "thank you for the support." It's a generic message, but it's one of those cryptic ones.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a little creepy, but it's
Yeah.
thank you for all the support.
Right.
Keep chugging along or whatever.
Yeah.
To
That
WWE's
was
credit,
all
to
like that.
WWE's credit now, with the attendance attention now, I have no earthly idea what the hell is happening in Mania,
Right.
or even what's going to be the segment on next week's Raw.
Yeah.
Is it Vince McMahon walking down here doing what he did when Austin left and said Austin's of the company and kind of did like a beer salute and walked and then just left the ring? I'm serious. Look it up. That's what he did.
Yeah.
The Rock came back that night and Rock bottomed him. That they did this whole angle of Austin might actually show up at the end of Raw and tease the hell out of the audience, and then The Rock ended up showing up and beating up Vince pretty much.
Yeah.
But no, the beginning of the Raw they said Austin has now left the company. He took his ball and he ran with it essentially. And they did a beer salute and he left the ring. He left the beer can in the ring. Almost like we're never going to see Austin again ever in a ring.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe at that point they thought he was done.
Yeah.
Like he burned a bridge finally.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about Vince McMahon. He tends to burn a lot of bridges with people,
Yeah.
even guys who gave him maybe a lot of money.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I guess that pretty much covers most of it. I mean, for now.
Very
For
controversial
now,
week.
hopefully the end. Hopefully,
We'll see what else
like I
comes
said,
out.
for WWE's sake, this is going to be the end of a very long saga of events. That,
Yeah.
like I said, I've never seen something this crazy in a week for one company.
Yeah. Yeah, and CM Punk is like
This-
half to majority,
Yeah.
or a majority of that. So right now, that's the discussion. So
And actually, to give you more examples of how Punk's this has done, WWE stock's at an all-time high high after today because
Yeah.
they just signed a TV deal with I think it's Sky Sportsnet over in the UK. It's a very big TV deal. So the market's reacted to business, not a wrestler quitting, even if it's a top wrestler. So for people once again thinking that just because he left, all of a sudden, the empire's collapsing slowly like Rome.
yeah,
It's not. It's
I mean, what might happen is all of a sudden you have a bunch of superstars that all of a sudden go poof, 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 and disappear. And they can be disappearing kind of like Punk did, either in support or, like I said, maybe it is because of this network thing. And all of a sudden you start seeing wrestlers saying, that's it,
Like I said,
I'm out.
yeah,
like I said, Vince McMahon's worst nightmare. Maybe a union happens in professional wrestling.
yeah.
Well, I mean, like,
Jesse Ventura has said it for years, and even Bret Hart and some other veterans that it's going to happen eventually. Somebody's going to get a united bunch together. They're going to boycott. They're going to do it. They're going to want to be
well,
unionized.
heck, most of these,
Vince McMahon's worst nightmare.
a lot of these wrestlers do have degrees in other stuff. It's not like they can't
David
all get
Otunga is a Harvard
Yeah.
lawyer, for crying out loud. I see him on HLN. He actually talks about actual cases.
Yeah.
He's a real lawyer, and he actually does date and is married to Jennifer Hudson.
So there you go.
So yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll stay tuned for
Yeah.
what goes on in SmackDown and Raw and what continues to maybe come out of the CM Punk saga as far as interviews go
For,
and podcasts.
WWE's sake, you better hope it just vanished. You better hope like the Super Bowl just is. There's some controversy over the Super Bowl, and maybe that's what people will talk about all
Yeah.
next week. Is how Manning got screwed or the Seahawks got screwed. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that whatever goes down next week on the Great Wrestling Debate. As always. So thanks for tuning in.